Hi everyone, I'm back and welcome to my June wrap up. So if you see my TBR video, you will know that I picked 8 books for me to read this month. I only read one because I kept finding more and more books that were not in my TBR pile, so I read those instead. So let's get to it. So my first book is the only book I read on my TBR pile, which is Once Upon a Time, Red's Untold Tale by Wendy Tolver. This book is about Red's backstory before her backstory is introduced in Once Upon a Time. If you have seen Once Upon a Time, you will know what I'm talking about. If you have not seen it, go see it. It is a wonderful show. I love it. Anyways, if you know Red, Granny, or Peter in Once Upon a Time, they are in this book. This book is about Wolfenstein or Wolfstime. I can't remember which one. But it's basically about Granny saying the wolves are coming, you better go and hide. And the rest of the people are going, she's a crazy woman, do not listen to her, there's no wolves whatsoever. Well, wolves show up. So that's what it sort of is about. It's 400 pages, but it goes by pretty quickly. I did read it in one sitting, and I did enjoy it. I do recommend this book for Once Upon a Time fans, because they will enjoy it, like I did. Okay, next book. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This book is about this kid named Simon who is gay, and he is afraid of coming out. Well, he gets blackmailed by this kid named Martin. Yeah, Martin. And he has to do what Martin wants in order for Martin not to spill the beans. And Simon has his friend named Blue, and Blue is also gay. But they only chat over email, and they don't know who each other really is. And Simon's friends don't know that Simon's gay, or his family. His family doesn't know either. So it's basically about his journey, like what he goes through. And he knows that if he comes out, his school will pick on him, because that's what the kids in his school do. They pick on him. They pick on whoever comes out, and it's not like the rest of society. Which I did enjoy this book. I did not read the back of it, where it tells you what it's about. I just picked it up and I started reading, and honestly that made the book more fun. I really did enjoy it, and if you have not read it, go out and read it. It's a really good book. I recommend reading it. Okay, next one. The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. So as you can tell, I like Becky Albertalli. And this book is about this girl named Molly. She has had 26 crushes and no boyfriends. Well, her sister Cassie meets this girl who has a friend, and Cassie wants Molly to date her friend. And Cassie and their parents are all gay, which I like how she kept that in her books. Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda and The Upside of Unrequited. These are her only 2 books so far. I want her to write more. But I did like this book, and it was interesting. It really was. But if I had to choose between this one and this one I like more, I'll pick this one, because this is the first book I've read by Becky Albertalli, so of course it's going to be my favorite. Okay. Okay, so the next one is the Pretty Little Liars series. I am borrowing these books, so I don't have the first one. I'm currently going to read number 4 when I get it. But the Pretty Little Liars series, it goes Pretty Little Liars, then Flawless, then Perfect. And I've noticed these books are completely different than the show, like way different. Like, here's one spoiler. Mona in the show has black hair. In the books, she's blonde. And so, as you can tell, that changed comparing the book to the show. Like, that was one of the 1,000 changes that I have noticed while reading this book. Because I do watch the show, so I'm like, oh, well, I like the books. They're different, and I don't know which one I prefer. I mean, I like how they are both different from each other. Like, I get different perspectives from it. So, like, the books and the show is basically sort of a spin-off than the books, if that makes sense. But they're completely different. Like, totally different. And I like that. I honestly do. And I'm going to continue reading this series because it's really interesting and I want to know more. Okay. My last one, I don't have the first book because I let one of my friends borrow it, but is the To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han series. Second one is P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever, Lara Jean. So this series is about this girl named Lara Jean. She writes down a letter to all the boys she's loved from middle school to high school. Well, one day those letters get out. So all the boys she's ever loved from middle school to high school know about her. And her whole life is changed. And you get to go on this journey with her. How her life was normal, like the way she liked it, to completely different and doesn't know what to do. So I do recommend that book if you like realistic and romantic type of books. And this book definitely is one. So I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books this month. That is a new record. Woohoo! Okay, so I hope that you guys will read any of the books I have said. If I had to pick one book out of this whole books that I've read this month, it will be Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. So that is my wrap up. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you until next time. Bye!